everyone must get this feel for action. And I know that art on its best can say things through the spirit in a deeper way than politicians or science. I brought back the molds and the equipment and the tools and everything that I used to build the one in Antarctica. Then I thought when I came back to New York to erect a similar bridge here in New York. And I was like thinking where to put it. I was like in Central Park, in Times Square, or so on. And then the idea came in a dialogue with someone from the Norwegian mission to the UN to erect it outside the UN. This is a problem. This is something that affects all nations, the whole globe. And so the UN would be the perfect place to erect this sister bridge.
The recent assessment by the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change is sobering. Continued emissions of the greenhouse gases along the current trajectory threatens to remake the face of the Earth, with the risk of physical and ecological changes occurring in decades or centuries that under normal circumstances would take thousands, millions, or even tens of millions of years to occur if they occurred at all.
Welcome to Antarctica. I will address tonight that I will carry on with this project to a new city every year. I will call the project Live Ice, because the ice, as I felt when I was walking on the glacier building this ice bridge last year, I felt I was walking on the destiny of mankind. If this ice cap really melts, it's a disaster. This one was intended to melt, and I also brought back some water from Antarctica, from the other bridge. So this is like the one in Antarctica must never melt. The one outside the UN is a piece of Antarctica melting, to show that the glaciers of Antarctica has started to melt dramatically.
Record heat, less cold, more intense rainstorms, higher sea level, and shrinking ice all over are part of the world that we live in now. They're not just some fantastic predictions that could occur in the future at some vague date. They are happening now. The disintegration of parts of the major ice sheets in Greenland and Antarctica is one such hazard that our actions may be locking in irreversibly before the end of this century. As a result, sea level would likely rise by 6 meters or more, perhaps over the course of only a few hundred years. It is entirely implausible that societies would adapt successfully to the consequences of such earth-shaking changes. And accordingly, it is our obligation to prevent this from happening.
This is not a normal time. We are facing a planetary emergency. And I'm fully aware that that phrase sounds shrill to many people's ears, but it is accurate. It's real. We're causing it mainly, vast majority of it. The consequences are bad and will be catastrophic unless we act. We can act, we can solve it, there's still time.
This is something that affects everyone, and of course, you know, using the old technology, it's so kind of built into the economy and to the market, and it's a big process to change that. So that's a extreme challenge, an extreme situation that we are in. As you know, we keep on polluting with higher and higher speed. At the same time, you know, this crisis is hunting us down in more and more dramatic speed as well. So it's really a big frustration to be in as a human being. So then it's like my feeling is like, how can we, everyone, you know, individually act to this? And I strongly feel that the approach for the future is something that we have to listen to the wise elders in the history, like Leonardo da Vinci, for instance. He opens up a thinking, an approach to life, to the globe, to the universe, where art, science, philosophy, and spirituality is experienced as a whole. And that is something to see things connected. And that's the reason why we have messed up this planet. Because we have not seen things, we have taken and not given back. We have not seen our actions in a full, total world picture. We have seen it as something separate and greedy and taken advantage of something. And that's why we really need to see art and science and spirituality and those things as a whole. And that's what Leonardo and the great artists from the history understood. And that's why they don't represent something old and that just belongs to a museum, but that's an approach that belongs to the future for us to survive actually as a civilization.